Today is day 4 of Inktober and I'm going to be talking about mainly references today. You might also notice that I'm beginning to make small experiments and changes as I go along. Today I tried introducing a watered down blue ink as well as the brown ink. So I live in a small town in England where it's normally really rainy or cloudy, so it's pretty difficult to get decent reference photos of landscapes, especially when I'm drawing a lot of mountains at the moment. The nearest place to me where there are mountains is either the Lake District or the Peat District, and it'll still take a few hours to drive to those places. And since I haven't learned to drive yet, I can't exactly just go there of my own accord. I'm lucky that some family members are very into their mountaineering holidays, so they let me use some of their photos as references, as well as some of their trips allowing me to take my own reference photos. So I've got a pretty wide stock of photos of mountain ranges that aren't just from around the UK, they're also from abroad too. It's quite odd that I'm using this Inktober from the Alps in France. And I like to change a few details here and there when I work from reference photos. It just allows me to play around more and it makes it more interesting for myself. So when I work from reference photos, I normally have the reference photo open on my computer at my desk. I've actually got two tables I put together in an L shape, and this is what I use as my desk space. One table has my computer and printer on it, and the other I just use as an art table. So I end up having to do quite a lot of glancing back and forth between what I'm drawing and the reference photo up on my screen. Printing the photos out is always an option, but I kind of like only using glances as well as it saving ink. Like when I only use glances, I can refer to what the shapes look like and sort of retain the image in my head, and then I can change it slightly to fit better with my overall drawing and composition. And doing it this way, it feels less like I'm copying from a photo. And I just like to add that copying from a photo isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's just something I've done a lot of in the past, and I'd prefer to get less reliant on it as I progress. And by doing it this way, it feels more like I'm making it my own. When I do landscapes, I like to pick out certain mountains I like the shape or look of. Sometimes I do it with multiple images and kind of collage them together in my drawing. And when I add the detail with the pen, I tend to get very loose and improvise more with the heavily textured areas, like cracks in the rocks and lines that represent the angle of the ground. I'm aiming to be more selective about which bits I add fineliner to as well. I normally just do the sky with water and ink, and I haven't added pen to the water in this drawing either. I know in the last drawing I added pen to some of the mountains sticking up out of the fog in the background, and it was only after I did it that I realised it looked quite a lot better without it. I think without the pen they ended up looking more distant and further away, so it probably took some of the illusion of depth out somehow. So I'm going to try experimenting more with what bits I add in pen, or don't add maybe, as it actually seems to make quite a lot of difference. Anyway, that's all for now, and I hope you enjoyed watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye!